My neighbour stole 2 feet of my garden while I was on holiday, and he was so sure I couldn't do anything about it that he told me to my face. I'd been away a week. I came home on a Sunday evening, dropped my bags, put the kettle on, and looked out at the back garden the way you do. And something was wrong. It took me a second. The fence, the old fence, the wobbly grey one that had been there since before I bought the house, was gone. In its place stood a brand new fence. Crisp, straight, expensive. And standing 2 feet closer to my house than the old one. He'd taken a strip of my garden, the whole length of it, 2 feet by 40. He'd built his lovely new fence right across land that was mine, while I was sunning myself 2,000 miles away. I went round the next morning. Kevin, his name was. I was polite. I said, "Kevin, the new fence, it's coming quite a way. That strip's always been mine." And Kevin folded his arms and smiled the smile of a man who thinks he's already won. "That's always been the boundary as far as I'm concerned," he said. "That old fence was in the wrong place for years. This is where it should be." "That's not right, Kevin." "Well," he said, and he actually shrugged. "Prove it was ever yours. Go on, prove it, prove it." He said it like a dare, like it couldn't be done, like the land belonged to whoever was brave enough to plant a fence post and stare the other person down. "Okay," I said, "I will." He laughed, he genuinely laughed, and he went back inside. And I went back inside too, and I opened my laptop, because Kevin had just made a very confident bet against a document he clearly didn't know existed. Here's what Kevin didn't understand about who owns a piece of land. It isn't decided by who's standing there. It isn't decided by where a fence happens to be. It isn't decided by whoever sounds most sure of themselves over the garden wall. It's written down, officially, by the land registry. Almost every property in the country has a title plan, an official document showing the legal boundaries of the land, and anyone can get a copy of anyone's. It costs about £15 and takes about 3 minutes. I'd never needed mine before. I'd never had a reason. But that Sunday night, I went to the land registry website, I found my property, and I paid my £15. And I downloaded the official title plan for my own home. And there it was, the legal boundary, drawn to scale, marked out precisely, and it ran exactly, where the old grey fence had stood for 20 years, the line Kevin had just moved 2 feet into. His lovely new fence was sitting squarely on my land, and now I had the government's own map to prove it. I didn't run round there waving it. I'd learned that much from watching other people lose these fights. You don't win a boundary dispute by shouting over a wall. You win it in writing. So I wrote Kevin a letter. Calm, factual, almost friendly. I explained that I'd obtained the official land registry title plan, that it clearly showed the legal boundary along the line of the original fence, and that his new fence encroached onto my property by approximately 2 feet. I attached a copy of the plan. I asked him, politely, to move the fence back to the correct boundary within 28 days. And I posted it, and I waited to see whether Kevin was the kind of man who'd back down gracefully. He was not at first. Kevin's first response was exactly what I expected. Bluster. He put a note through my door saying the plan didn't prove anything, that plans are just rough guides, that his surveyor mate said the boundary was fine, that I was being difficult and unneighbourly, and he'd see me in court if I wanted to push it. He was hoping I'd fold. He was hoping the confidence would do the work, the way it usually does. So I wrote back one more time, shorter this time. I said I was very happy for this to go to court, and that if it did, I'd be relying on the official land registry title plan, and I'd be asking the court to order him to move the fence and to cover my costs for making me force the issue. I said I hoped that wouldn't be necessary, but I made it very clear I was completely willing. And then something changed. Because Kevin, faced with a real letter mentioning real costs, did the sensible thing for once, he actually spoke to an actual solicitor, and the solicitor told him what I already knew, that the title plan is exactly the kind of evidence a court relies on, that he was standing on someone else's land, that he was going to lose, and it was going to cost him. The following Saturday, in a light grey drizzle, I watched from my kitchen window as Kevin took down his beautiful new fence, post by post, and rebuilt it 2 feet back, along the old line, the correct line. The line the map had shown all along. I made myself a cup of tea, and I watched the whole thing. I'm not proud of how much I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to pretend I didn't. He's never mentioned it since. We nod. It's fine. Here's the lesson, and it cost me exactly £15 to learn it. When someone dares you to prove that what's yours is yours, very often you can. The proof already exists. It's written down. Most people just never think to go and look. Has a neighbour ever tried to take what wasn't theirs? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more complete stories with no part 2s that never come, follow the page. New story every day.